It's fun time.
So we're going to the Pennsylvania Baseball Network. It's an academy in Harrisburg. We got Rich Duno with the King of the Hill following us, and we're going to do a clinic today from 1 to 5. So I'm pretty excited. We're supposed to have a good group of kids. And this is just going to be a beginner clinic, really just kind of laying out 3X pitching, our beginner drills, bringing in the King of the Hill and how we work with those, and do some video analysis. And then get ready for the camp this weekend. We got a pretty full camp this weekend where we go really in depth, and you guys will get to see some of that. You know Rich? Have you met Rich?
No, I never met.
I'll be out in a minute.
At the same time. Bam.
All right, come on, Steven.
Nice, hey man, nice beard.
Yeah, thanks.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Thanks for coming out, man. It's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be cool. A lot of people interested in us being here. I like it.
Yeah.
It'll work out. Yeah. Brought you some.
I told you, I think either when I came back from your place, when I was there, I said you got to come out here because it's pretty big. Baseball's big out here.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it is.
Central Pennsylvania's got a lot of baseball.
There's tons of baseball.
They love Brent. They love it. Hey, nice to meet you. I'm Tom.
Happy you too. Tom.
This
Okay,
is Tom. This is Tom. Yeah.
You stayed at my house.
Yeah.
I didn't know this is where we were going. Yeah. Yeah, I remember that now. That's awesome, man.
You didn't have a room for me. So
Yeah.
you're like, yeah, I'm
We're
booked. You're like, I'm booked. But
Was that last year?
That was,
It's probably 2
geez,
years.
yeah, that was like almost when I was probably here for like 6 months, a year and a half ago or something at that point.
yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I remember you were training a little bit still, I think. when I was there.
At that time.
I'm the King of the Hill.
King of the Hill guy?
Yep. Wow, this is awesome. This is nice.
And Rich got you better too. Dude, this is good. Dude, look at this, Rich.
How cool is this?
Jeez.
What's it called? I was the only freshman who had long hair, right?
Hey, if you guys are ready, we're gonna go in here. So whenever you're all ready, come on in.
And all the seniors, like, everyone's getting haircuts except for you. You gotta grow your hair out. So I'm like, all right, let's nuts.
Oh yeah. It's nice.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Hey. So.
A lot of people. An hour, 10 minutes.
Hey, you want to move over, like,
Doctors told me at 18 years old I'd never play again. Could you imagine how depressing that would be, Brent? What if a doctor told you right now you'll never play again? I've talked to 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds, 17, 18, 19-year-olds who are in that situation right now. They've damaged their arms so bad, doctors are telling them they'll probably never play again. Okay? It's a big problem in baseball. There's a high rate of injury, there's a pattern of injury, meaning there's a pretty good chance you're gonna blow your elbow out or your shoulder in your career. Okay? So I'm a big advocate for health in pitching. Huge advocate. Why? Because it happened to me. I can look you right in the eye and go, I was an 18-year-old who pretty much ended his career. Okay? But I'm also very stubborn, and I'll run through a brick wall if I want to. Raise your hand if you're stubborn and it'll do the same. It's actually a good thing. It's not a bad thing, right? You can hurt yourself, so be careful. But that's what I did. Doctors said you never play again. I went to 3 or 4 different doctors, never play again, and he was like, you know what? Bull crap. I'm gonna figure this out. And I'm gonna run through a brick wall until I figure it out. I did all this strength conditioning as well. Got with the Olympic lifting coach. I rebuilt a body that was very much a late bloomer, and it allowed me to be able to perform again at an elite level, or have the athleticism to get on the field and be able to use my body, not just my arm. So, like I said, 5 years later, I'm actually on a field playing college baseball at a good level. I mean, before that, I'd say 3 years later, I was actually playing. 5 years later, I was playing back to the level I was at. That took a long time, okay? But I did it, right? I was fired up. I was like, I proved all the doctors wrong. I got a chance to go play European professional baseball, so I got a chance to go play in the Frontier League. I thought Europe would be more fun, so I went to Europe. Then I come back and I'm like, you know what? I really want to master this hip to shoulder separation. So I went up to California and I got around Tom House, and I really studied hip to shoulder separation. And then I found out that I felt like they really, in my opinion, didn't know how to train it. And I started to figure out ways to train it. This is how 3X pitching evolved. And it was a pinnacle moment where I was really peaking in my lifts and my athleticism, and I was really enhancing or perfecting these skilled movements of hip to shoulder separation. And I'm playing in this men's league and I'm striking everyone out, and the year before I was decent. And they're all coming up to me and they're like, you don't need to be here. You're the ringer, get out of here. Seriously, like, you don't need to be here. Like, what am I gonna do? I'm 26 years old at the time. They're like, you need to go try out somewhere. So I went to a tryout, I went to a big league tryout, and I had no idea. I didn't pitch to the end because I put how old I was on the form, and I was throwing 94 miles an hour. And I talked to the Twins and the Blue Jays. I went up to the cross checkers. At the end of the day, my age was a little bit of a factor. And they told me to go try out for the City League. And I went and tried out for the Golden League, an independent league, professional league in California. And I was the first round draft pick. And I got to play with my idol that year, Jose Canseco. Raise your hand if you would love to play with your idol one day. I think that's the greatest thing to strive for. It's the coolest experience in the world. You know, you meet someone that you looked up to, and you're actually facing him, and now you're an equal, and then you beat him. I got him out 4 out of 4 times. He even came up to me after games, Jose Canseco, because when he was first on my team when we traded, he came up to my games afterwards and literally walked up to me and says, Brent, you're a good pitcher. Dude. I was like, thanks, Jose. I literally turned around and called my dad. I was like, Dad, I'm ready to retire. That's all I needed. It's a big moment. It's probably similar to playing Major League Baseball, which, you know, I didn't have I wasn't lucky enough to get to that level. I mean, so this is like 28, 29 years old, and I go into their winter leagues and I play a full season, and I'm a professional ball player. And I don't think I needed much more after that. I saw the road to trying to go into affiliated ball and work up to the bigs at 28, 29. It's a pretty long shot. And I always felt I'd be a good coach. My grandfather was a famous football coach. He started the AFL with Lamar Hunt. He's a legend. And I always looked up to him. And always thought I'd be a coach. And this was that moment, and I transitioned to a coach.
So when I get up on this right away and I throw, right away you can tell that I take my lower half out of it and I don't create any force when I throw. But as soon as I get up on top here and I load my backside and create some force, you hear that? What's that noise tell you? Yeah, you're actually pushing back. The force that we want you guys to create. So what I want to do is, I know we got an awful lot of guys here. Let's go ahead and, all we're going to do is go out of the stretch. And we're going to leave it somewhat light right now, just so you guys can feel activation, because it's definitely a different feel when you do this, when you create it. All I want you guys to do is come in here out of the stretch. Look out the leg. Go forward and see if you can hear that activate. You guys got it? Here we go.
You're losing a lot of your energy. He's slower to front foot, but he's all the way back here. And he's got all this time to get that little energy up his body, and he gets more out of it than you. The way I understand that is you take 2 jets and you put them on 2 runways. And this runway, they're the same jets, say F-18. This runway is 100 feet, and this runway is 300 feet. All jets have to get to about 160 miles an hour to lift. Which one's going to have to accelerate quicker? The long runway or the short runway? Okay, so short runways have to accelerate quicker, and they may never get there. Problem is, sometimes when guys try to go faster, the runways are shorten quicker. The longer runway has more time to accelerate, so you can take all day in that jet. I got all day. I'm going to eventually get there. Woo, I'm up. So that's the guy who has more mobility. He gets all that time and separation. He's got this long runway to get to that 160 miles an hour, right? To get that ball speed where he wants it to go. So if you're landing everything's open and short, it's killing your runway. And you can't go fast enough. And now you can't get the plane off the ground. Okay? So let's try these. Let's go full stride. Hips open, shoulders closed. I created this drill so you can feel hip to shoulder separation. Hips open, shoulders closed. You want to hold this position into your leg drive. Lift, load, and pop the plate. Lock the arm. Don't let it go. See if you can even train your motor control to not throw. Drive and cock. Drive and cock, and feel that hip. You gotta turn it like, don't let it push forward, and don't be doing this. We gotta turn it all the way. Guys, y'all could do this in your room every single day. So drive that back hip and feel your shoulders completely closed, meaning you can look down the back of your front shoulder. Nope, I want you to land and you are looking down the back of your front shoulder. Drive your hips and you're still closed. No, you're letting it all go. You're letting everything go. So I'm right. I mean, you're dragging your arm. You got to learn to separate that and you stop dragging your arm. So we can add in rotational components. I don't do this in my programming until the preseason. You stay in linear movements all off season because you need that much time to build linear power. Because once I go to rotation, if you don't have good linear power, or you don't understand how to move your body towards the target and how your trunk transfers that, then you're just going to go into a lot of position and everyone's just going to spin off again. But we can play with it. So we do it the same thing in a lateral position. Okay? We separate our hands, get this in position, and same thing. We'll lift, but now we've got to add in rotation. So what we do is you lift and load, and you keep your knee out. If this knee goes in, you're going to collapse and lose power. You keep your knee out. You're going to lift, and we call it foot sync. You sync your feet up. They move together. This front leg is going to trigger hip rotation by opening. That starts rotation. Once that opens, everything wants to open. Try not to let your shoulders open. Your hips are going to open. And the moment that opens, remember you got to sync your feet up. You want to then power hip rotation. So you don't have to worry about spinning your back foot. It's rotation has occurred once you open your front foot. All you have to do is make sure you sync them up and drive. So get my arm up in the cocked position or just in the low cocked position. Line up my glove side. I'm gonna lift and load, knee out, lift and load. I'm gonna allow my hips to fall forward and down. I'm gonna trigger hip rotation, power hip rotation, and cock my arm. Trying to separate. I'm trying to get my hips to open. I'm gonna feel that back leg internally rotated into my drive and my hips open. Okay? When can I do this? I don't have time. I hear that's the number one excuse. Yes, you're right, you have a problem. You have to find time or this will not happen. You will not benefit from it. ASMI says if you throw more than 8 months out of the year, you're 5 times more likely to have injury. That means you have to take at least 4 months off a year to do some type of player development or get out of wear and tear. So yes, you need to find every year 4 months where you work on this stuff. Now, if you're young and you want to play another sport, I think it's great. But when you get serious at this and baseball's your thing, you need to take 4 months at least 4 months out of the year and you work on this 4 months straight in training and a good program behind it. If not, you're going to burn yourself out fast, you're going to injure yourself fast, or you're never going to truly advance in this game. I'm telling you. That is the number one key. And I think, to tell you the truth, if you didn't get anything out of this camp, but you got, hey, you know what? I need to take an off season. I'd be so happy. I feel like I'm saving your careers just by getting you to do that. I don't know how many times kids come up to me and I said, are you going to take that 4 months off? You know what, coach, I'm going to do it. It's going to piss off my friends and my coaches. You know what? Damn, it's my career. I'm going to take that 4 months off. Then I talk to him the next season. How did that 4 months work out? He goes, dude, I walked on the field better than everybody on my team, and every single player and parent came up to me and asked me what I was doing. And you know all they did is they took 4 months off to work on their skills. That's all they did. To build and develop themselves for their skills. Not in practice, work on pitches and work on pickoffs and holding guys on and hitting fumbles. No. In the weight room, building a better athlete, in drills, countless times to perfect the movement and put it all together. That's player development. That's when you enhance your game. That's when you move up levels. A field's not going to do that unless genetically you're built to play at the major league level. Raise your hand if you're genetically built to play at the major league level. That's good. I would say you're not either. I'm not genetically built to play at the major level. I threw 94. I threw 93, 94 at best. I could play Major League Baseball with that. There's a lot more to it than that, but I could have played Major League Baseball with that. But I worked for that. If I just showed up every day and played, I did. 18, I tore my rotator cuff. I was done. So I never would have gotten past 18 in this game if I didn't learn how to build it and take the time to build it. I always tell guys that know how to land and stay closed, when you start learning to put the hips in, power through the lower half, it immediately converts.
I mean,
a lot of guys.
I was all arm. I was 87, so I mean, kind of bottom half. I mean, I figured it's bad plus the weight. I mean,
I don't get you can,
I mean, 190 pounds. I can be 220.
And the reason you throw that hard is because you land so close. So it's like if you can never lose that close position and just constantly load and drive and get more power and get more mass and do that, you're going to just fall.
I mean, that's what I'm coming for you guys, and then notch it out, like, gotta get you and then we'll look into after that.
Right, and if you come down to our camps and you do that, we'll build profile videos and we'll put that all over.
I mean, of course, I'll be down there from the camp October, be there up until I think Thanksgiving. I'll probably take that time off, and then I'm not even
good. I think you're in a good position. Like I said, the guys that can stay that close in front of foot, really, your ball speed goes up quick as you build.
Of course. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, dude. Thanks for coming. I hope you enjoyed the camps.
Steve.
Hey.
See you.
Yeah, it's good meeting you, man.
That's herniated, right?
Yeah.
I just want to make sure, like, it's here. Whenever I, like...
Yeah, that's your pronator. So it hurts when you try to, like, turn it in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's just from...
Well, you're obviously overemphasizing that movement. So the thing is, you need to get other things in that would support that. So like I was saying, the trunk, getting the trunk to really pick up more energy going forward would allow your arm to carry through those movements as opposed to force through those movements. Okay. So same time too, I would work on your hip mobility because that would allow more trunk dynamics. And then the better you get at that, so hip mobility, more power to move your trunk. Watch this clear up when you start doing it.
I just want to make sure, like, it only bothers
I'm not concerned about that. I'm concerned about medial stress. So if you get stress here, that doesn't bother me. That doesn't bother me.
sometimes it'll go, like, right here.
I'm not as concerned about that. I mean, you could eventually tear it, but I think that takes a long. I mean, usually that comes
That's what
late
my
in career.
doctor told me for school.
I'm not always worried. Just don't pitch too much. If it's starting to get piercing, like don't pitch it and don't let it stay too knotted up. Like you wouldn't want to go into a game and it's knotted up.
Okay.
You want to mash it out and keep it, try to help it. But you need to you need to get more trunk. I think that'll clear up you forcing more pronation. Because you're probably getting like more back here. Your head's probably a little ahead and you're trying to force through here as opposed to this carrying it there. Boom.
Just let it happen.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Sir. Boss. Hey, nice meeting you, man. Yeah, absolutely.
It's 15, you're just starting to grow. And,
All right, so we just had a 3X clinic in Harrisburg. Went pretty good. Had, what do you think, about 20 dudes?
I think it was 23.
23 guys. Went good. A lot of them really into it. I couldn't believe how many guys really wanted to talk about the arm injury stuff. A lot of arm issues, like just young kids, underdeveloped, really trying to learn what it takes, trying to convince the 14-year-olds that lifting would be a good option. When you're in 2 years, you're going to be, ultimately could be recruited by college teams. That also is going to support them wanting to get better at all the movements we were training and throw harder without hurting themselves. And so there was a lot of cool conversations about that, and they really responded to it well. I try to keep it entertaining. It's just hard when you got a lot of information. But Rich did great with the King of the Hills. We put some video up on Twitter, or not Twitter, actually on Instagram, showing his demonstration on the King of the Hills, which you probably also are going to put on here, maybe. But that was great. Rich did a good job, and it all came together well. And I really hope we can do more of this. It was fun. So I always say a drip is the best process. Guys come here. And I think just because the industry is built with a lot of information, guys think my camp is like everybody else's and it's like a little class and I'll show you a few little tips. No, this is a think tank. This is a university. This is a master's course. This is something that I would hope you do for the rest of your career. I would love to see guys that are in high school do this all the way up to Major League Baseball. I mean, it's one of those things. Because we work with high school guys, we work younger, and we work with major leaguers. And we can help them in every step of the way. I work with minor leaguers, I work with major leaguers, I work with high school pitchers, I work with D3 pitchers, I work with D1 pitchers, top prospects. It doesn't matter, everyone comes in at a different level. But it's that much information and that much training to take you all the way through your career. So it's something that if you don't look at it in a drip, like every day, you should do a little bit more, learn a little bit more, and you think you're going to consume this in a month, you're crazy. You're just going to get overwhelmed and give up. So it's something like every day you should think, I'm just going to go in there and just watch another video and learn another mechanical component, or obviously too, I'm going to do the training for the day. That's just in addition to the training. Walk it till there's tension, and just push it. So you got to make sure that your body is decently high up. Walk it out till there's tension. All right, squeeze your glutes, keep your core strong. When you squeeze your glutes, you're getting your pelvis in a neutral position. Keep the core tight there. You're just gonna go straight down and just let it pull. Pull the hip open, okay? And then you can kind of pull yourself backwards to pull it apart. Sit there and try to breathe. And then if you don't have a band and you're just doing it at your house, you can do the couch stretch. It's coming to a wall. Get on your knees, push the one knee back all the way up against the wall, all right? And then bring the other leg up. Bring it up as high as you can. You should feel the stretch all the way through your quad, front hip flexor. When you guys lay on the ground, spread your legs as far as you can. All right, stretch that. Go to the outsides of the collars, all right? And just kick your legs out as far as you can. You're just gonna take your arms and just pull yourself in towards the bar.
sit there and hang out.
My like foot isn't in line with like my knees.
Mhm.
Is there any way to fix that?
Active Life is probably who you're going to want to go to, just because they're much more professional than me. But if I was you, I would start looking at like how's this hip range of motion, what's going on there, what's the imbalances between both of these legs. This is all stuff that Active Life would have you testing, stuff like that. So pretty much what happens is have you ever hurt that ankle or anything?
I twisted it a couple times.
Yeah, well, I mean, to the point where it's like you had to compromise the way you move in that ankle, because over time what happens is if you start moving there, so when I go straight on, go ahead and lay down. If I go straight on and try to move you back, see how you get stuck right away? But when I go to your compromised position, you have a little bit better range of motion. So what's happening is your body is overcompensated to find, okay, if I kick out here, I've got better range of motion on that ankle here. But when I'm stuck here, that's it, I can pretty much stuck right there. So you just got to figure out what Active Life is great for that. So they're going to test the imbalances between your legs, your pelvis might be out of balance, your knee could be sticking, your hip could have poor range of motion. You got to look above and below what's going on. This this calf could be really tight all through here. You just got to start searching what's going on. It's overcompensating somewhere. Ankles, get in a low athletic position, all right? Now you're going to keep tension in the band, keeping your feet forward. You're just going to walk. That's one. That's two. That's three. That's four. That's five. You just go all the way up to 10. Yeah, get it around your ankles. So look, see how you keep out, forward. Keep tension in the band, get butt low. Come to the setup, right? So I like to get everything completely aligned. So I squeeze my butt, squeeze my core, I go straight up to the sky. So I feel like I'm in perfect alignment, all right? Then when you're ready to go down, you come down, torsion, address the bar, okay? Get your grip. I roll it forward so I can get all the way down. Then I bring it back in, bring it just to butt height, and I just push my knees out. I'm gonna touch it. Steven. Go for it. Get your grip, thumb grip it. Try to feel like you're sitting into your posterior chain. There you go. Good, now you're sitting back, roll it to butt height. So look, don't start from the grounded position. So don't start like already grounded. If you're coming down to the bar to address it. Glutes, core, torsion, and get the bar. Alright? Get your first grip. Boom. Alright? Roll forward so you can get low. Then you're going to come back to knee height. Then you're set in your position. Lift, transition, so I'm still bent, jump and shift. So here, try to keep the momentum going. Torsion as you're coming down. That's knees going back. Good. Now get your grip. Roll it out so you can get all the way down. Back in. Now just trunk, not your butt. Just the trunk comes up. As your butt, oops, sorry, down. So as the butt's coming up, don't let it shoot all the way up. Just let, you're down here. The butt comes up as the trunk comes up. So I'm in a nice loaded position.
They hauled all those RVs out of there.
What's that?
They took all those nice RVs out of there.
Yeah, they did, huh? It's a beautiful day. They probably find a nice place to camp around.
Perfect. Perfect, man. Good. Now go for your lift. Okay, but don't let, that was good. That was your best one. But don't lift the butt so quick. So as the butt is coming up, right, and the trunk just transition. So good. So you're in that position. Jump and trunk. Good.
you're kind of here and you're like pop up and then you push. You need to really get these to pull apart more, and then that'll launch it faster.
Gaining a little bit of distance on his front foot. He's driving through, he should be just putting down.
He's driving through.
So front foot
Andrew, close your shoulders. Keep the ball internally rotated, and as you're driving, be throwing that up and back. Getting your arm following. So, and then these chest up drills, these gonna be very awkward. Remember, we're taking out rotation. Everything's linear, back and forward, right? We're taking out rotation. Problem is if you don't do a good job of driving and launching your trunk forward, nothing's gonna load your arm. You have nothing on your arm. You're gonna go push it and you're gonna bounce it. So it's gonna be hard to resist if you're not doing that well, to just want to turn and just get it over with and throw it, right? So for the purpose of the drill, you can't let yourself turn. The more you turn, the more you go, I'm just gonna rotate. And you're not gonna work on the linear movements, the linear trunk, front leg, okay? So if you really do a good job, you're not gonna let yourself turn, and you're gonna force your trunk to start driving your arm better. So I wanna get here, I'm gonna tuck my glove, my elbows up, shoulder height, my arms laying back. I'm in dorsiflexion my back foot. I'm gonna lift and drive, pop the plate, and that's when everything loads. Then I'm gonna stabilize front leg. I'm gonna start to extend front leg, right? Just like we did in those front foot drills. My trunk's gonna launch, and then my arm's gonna follow. And I really wanna feel my trunk driving the ball. And no turn, up, drive. Okay, we'll warm up for my feet. Tuck my glove hard, because I know I'm gonna turn if I do this. If I let this guy out, this is gonna go back and find stability. If I keep this tucked, I got stability here, and I can just drive my trunk. Okay, let's do it.
The workouts you show us, do I do all of them or just pick one? Like,
So have you maxed?
no,
So well, where's your brother? Is he gonna help you?
I don't think so. Probably.
You're not gonna help him? I said, your brother gonna help you with the list? He's like, yeah.
I can't.
No, so I think for him the best thing to do is to start, I would probably start with the beginner's guide, or in the online course I talk about, you can take the Ace Pitcher handbook and you can start it without the percentages. Basically like we do with the beginner's guide. Do the Ace Pitcher handbook, base week, just do a lightweight, volume week, add about 5%, recovery week, take off about 10%, and then perform, go up to about 15%. And then maybe do that for 4 weeks. If you feel like you got good technique, you could go into max week. If not, you could just keep doing that until you get your 8 weeks, and then you're in the max week. And then once you get those maxes, you're gonna start over week 1. Now you have your maxes and you're gonna calculate it.
All right.
Can't wait to meet the legend.
Absolutely.
Good afternoon, guys.
You coming down to Louisiana at all? With a Brock?
It's Brock, yeah, Brock's the man. He came down, big guy. It's awesome. He's gonna come back. So DA's got a game today, so we gotta have time with him to Rich kept asking. I wanted to give you a shirt. I should just give it to you. He's got a good shirt for you. Those ground force shirts.
Oh yeah?
Pretty cool.
And hats. They're pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like red hats that say
This
GI.
guy says, how do I bounce back from getting
Cut from my 13-year travel team. Hey, how you bounce back, man? You keep playing. Make sure you find a team and you keep going. That one team doesn't matter. Honestly, at 13, it really isn't going to matter for you. It matters when you're 18. It matters when you're 21. Get on another team and make sure you're playing and make sure you're practicing and pushing it. Because, dude, I can't tell you the number of teams I got cut from when I was like 13 years old. It's ridiculous. I almost never even made my freshman team. They told me I was the last person that made the team. Sorry, the B team. I almost got cut from the B team. And that's true, man. So make sure you're playing, because you never know. You never know when you're gonna hit your stride compared to everybody else. Dude, like there's so many kids out there that I passed because they hit their stride early, and yet I just hit it later. But that helps you because that
It
set
drove
up.
me. Yeah, you had some taste of adversity young, and then it kept you pushing hard.
Yeah, it made me push harder because these kids were better than me, and I'm getting cut. So I'm like, okay, I have to practice harder than them, and so it made me better. By the time I grew into my body, got bigger, taller, faster, they weren't working hard because they already had it. They already had the glory, and I just kept passing them.
This is coming from a guy who's been cut 14 times in professional baseball.
Probably gonna be 15. Just give it a week.
Like definitely not enough. So we get another question. PA, what a good. Is a 8'5" feet broad jump good or average? Depends how old you are and how big you are. So let us know
If you're like if you're like 300 pounds, if you're like 6'8",
Yeah,
300 pounds,
amazing.
it's amazing. It's the greatest thing of all time. This triple extension from 73 to 80.
What do you think? Your trip extension is something from going through. That's awesome, man. Well, keep getting better at it. What is a good tenure or time for a senior in high school?
What do you want? Like 155?
Well, the major league average is 155.
Yeah, major league average 155. So remember 155. Be that time. If you're 1.6, that's okay. That's fine. But yeah, I mean, shoot for that. Shoot for 1.6 and below.
I think you ran a 155 at 240. Did you hit it or no?
I don't know if we timed it at the end because when I first got the 240, I was not fast. I was slow. But then I worked at the end. I remember when I beat Al. I remember beating Al.
You didn't beat Al.
I beat Al. We got video footage of me beating Al.
Have you seen how good Al is?
Al's
Maybe
a
out of
stud.
10 races.
75 Ks this year.
75 K.
75 Ks.
Al's coming for my job.
No, he's like, I gotta call DA.
Al's a stud.
Any other questions?
One kid said, "I'm 13 and I throw weighted balls." Awesome. Good for you. Let me know when you're 15. I ran 6.6 on Saturday. All right, yeah. So I assume you were the one asking about the weighted ball, or about the 10 time.
Damn, David, that's nice.
Yeah, but this isn't enough chicken. That's not enough. That's not enough food.
That's not enough protein.
I said it was $20, David.
That's not enough food.
Sets and wraps to be incorporated into an off-season, preseason, and in-season. I knew that wasn't enough food. I was like, I just paid $20 for DA's food and mine. That's not enough food.
Not enough. Smells good.
We need to get programs. We need to get like our program. Someone said max mass equals gas.
Here's a stud coming in here.
Anyway.
Oh, gee. What's going on? What's up? Hey, Brent Porcio.
Nice to meet you, man.
And Steve G.
All right, brother. I think.
I'll figure it out.
Domination. We going to the Liddy.
Oh, shit. Okay, we'll be good.
Goodbye, DA.
Get out.
Don't forget your shirt.
I will not forget my shirt.
All right, Dave. We'll talk again.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, man.
Have
It
a
was
safe
fun.
trip.
Kick
Great
ass.
seeing you.
Good seeing you too, man.
Thank you for coming out.
Thank you, man.
I'm going to shove it up their ass.
Yeah.
for having us. Thanks for having us out.
All right, domination,
All right, guys.
brother.
See you, man.
Releasing the DA back into the wild.